Welcome to the RE Real Estate Podcast, where we discuss buying and selling real estate in black and white. Here are your hosts, Ben Harang and Clint Galliano.
Welcome to another RE Real Estate Podcast Market Update. Today we're going to be covering Terrebonne Parish. We did the last one on Lafourche Parish, so today we're going to cover Terrebonne Parish. Hey, Ben, how you doing?
Clint, I'm doing terrific, man. How you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful.
Good. We like you said, we did Lafourche, and we're gonna hit some highlights in Terrebonne and kind of give you an idea of what's going on in the real estate market.
Good deal.
All right, and Clint's gonna share his screen, and we'll go from there.
All right. So, and we'll do a little comparison to what we saw in Thibodaux, or at least a little commentary on it. But market trends, we're squarely in a buyer's market in Terrebonne Parish. We've got 8.33 months of inventory. And in case you didn't see our last episode, that means that everything that is listed in inventory right now, if we didn't take any new listings, it would take us 8.33 months to sell off everything that's in inventory now at the current rate that we're selling inventory or selling homes.
And we consider a 6-month inventory to be a balanced market between a seller's market and a buyer's market. It's neither. It's a balanced market. So Lafourche is 6.24, I think, months. So it's more of a balanced market. Terrebonne is 2 months longer than that.
Yeah.
And again, that's parish wide, like we talked about in Lafourche, between North Terrebonne, South Terrebonne, with more activity going on in North Terrebonne.
That's correct.
All right.
So, another thing that's a big difference, the median days in RPR is 92. So that means it's taking about 3 months for properties to sell in Terrebonne Parish. That's almost actually, it's a little bit more than 30 days more than Lafourche.
Right.
I
think that number in Lafourche was 59.
Yeah, that was 59. Median sold price is 195,000, and I think it was a little bit over 220 or just under 220 in Lafourche. All right, property values. Again, this is estimated values based on RPR's value estimation. And for Terrebonne Parish, RPR's data goes back to 2011. Median estimated values, 218,000. Seems to be coming up a little bit. So that's a good thing. So one thing we wanted to cover too is the difference between median and average. Both median and average are, and I really love this term, are indicators of central tendency. Ben's getting a kick out of me saying that.
I'm gonna give it to you in plain English when you finish.
Yeah, well, and it's if I don't give your story away first.
Go ahead.
So average is if you've got 5 houses worth varying amounts, you add up the values of those houses and divide it by 5, and that's your average. Okay, everybody knows what average is. The median is what if you've got them all arranged from high to low, what that middle value is. And like Ben likes to say, 50% are higher and 50% are lower.
That's the median. You have as many low as you do above it, and that's the median. So it's not skewed by one outlier. If you have a $3 million listing, it doesn't skew the average. It doesn't skew the median as much as a straight average would skew it. So
yeah.
All right.
moving on. The other thing to point out too, like Lafourche, Terrebonne Parish's values post 2016 or so pretty much follows the Louisiana, for the most part, values. We do have some dips that aren't necessarily reflected, or I should say some rises around COVID. And I think that's mainly because people were going nuts buying houses
between
COVID
between
era.
being home with nothing to do and 2% money.
Yeah.
The real estate market got crazy. And
the,
also it's more, they're getting more data points into RPR, so it's a more reliable figure where you can see it tracking pretty much with the rest of the state. The blue is Terrebonne Parish, the orange, if that's the right color, is the state, and the yellow is nationwide.
Yeah.
So the anomalies you see with Terrebonne Parish above everything, I think, is because there were fewer data points and not as much information, and that got skewed.
That's a good possibility.
But since about 2017, it looks like middle of beginning of 2017, it seems to be on track.
Yeah, we didn't have, and we had similar, not quite the same, but data didn't go back. I think in Lafourche it started in 2016, so
right.
There's probably some partial data prior to 2016 in for Terrebonne Parish that's giving us those skewed numbers.
Mm-hmm.
The thing I wanted to point out is, while we generally track with the Louisiana median estimated property values, if you look from May of 22 coming forward, Terrebonne Parish is more static, whereas Louisiana property values tend to be a little bit more of a climb or increasing. So take that for what it's worth.
That would be somewhat divergent.
Yep. So I just wanted to point that out.
Mm-hmm.
All right, new listings. In the month of April, Terrebonne Parish had 127 new listings. The median list price was $215,000 for a total volume of $36,199,652. So that's the volume. So that's the dollar amount that it was worth, and the number of properties was between 5 and 6%. The size, median living area, is down almost 10% across from March to April.
And just as a comparison, we did Lafourche, and I know the Terrebonne market is a lot bigger than Lafourche. I think Lafourche had 66 new listings. Terrebonne had 127.
Yep.
So the market is bigger. The market is slower in Terrebonne, but the depth of it is bigger. So I'm not going to talk about pricing again, how important it is, but if you price it right, you'll sell it. All right, I had to get that in, Clint. I'm not going to say it again.
We'll probably say it at least 2 more times.
I won't say it again until I say it again.
All right. So active listings in April. So this is total number of listings, not just the new ones that were taken in April. We had 508 properties listed in April. I'm wanting to say average again.
Mm-hmm.
The median list price is $245,000. So that's up. So that tells me that that in there, it seems like the prices are coming up a little. The median days in RPR is 101. So that also tells me that they're staying listed longer.
Mm-hmm.
And total volume that was on the market in April was $160,356,336. That's up 0.7% month over month. And median living area is 1,809 square feet. That's up 1.6% month over month.
And if you're looking at the chart, if you're looking at the video, there's a rise as far as active listings in April, and I suspect the same thing's going to happen in May. And if you go back to May of 22 and May of 23, you'll see a seasonal rise in listings as school is ending and people are making move during the summer, so the kids can start school in August, September. So I think next month we'll see another rise in May that'll probably match the previous year's May's, just to show the seasonal nature of real estate.
Yeah, I think last year it was muted a little bit, but that was probably because of the crazy interest rates, and sellers were less encouraged to sell just because they knew it was going to be tough to get it sold.
And then buyers were reluctant.
That's still an interesting observation.
The interest rates. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. New pending listings. So this is listings that someone liked and wrote an offer on, and the offer was accepted, or as I like to refer to it, under contract. There were 91 properties that were put under contract in Terrebonne Parish in April. The median list price was $199,900. Median days in RPR was 33 days. So that's basically roughly about a month after they were listed. They're under contract. And the total volume that was put under contract in April was $23,965,225. That's up 32.5% over March. The median living area is 1,606 square feet. That's down 3.8% month over month. What's as far as median list price, even though there's some peaks and valleys, that's actually fairly steady across the board. You know, as far as a trend, that's hovering right around that $200,000 mark since April of 2020. It started below that in April, but for the most part, it's been staying right around that $200,000 mark. All right, total pending listings. There are 126 total pending listings. So those are properties that were listed that are under contract, or someone wrote an offer on it and the offer was accepted. The median list price is $199,450. That's up 0.2% month over month. Median days in RPR is 84. So that's up a little bit from the new listings.
And I think that's
the total. Go ahead.
Well, I think that's shows properties that have been on the market longer, that tried to get more money for them than the market's willing to pay. They saw the light, reduced the price, and their property went under contract once it got close to the market price. So there it is. I'm saying it again, Clint.
Yeah. I was getting ready to say that. So total volume's $31,104,075. That's up 9.3% month over month. So that's telling me that there's actually more volume and more number of units going under contract total month over month.
It shows the health of the real estate market.
Yep. You know, it's not just all sitting there. It's actually, there are properties transacting.
This one's
okay. Sold listings. There were 75 homes sold in the month of April in Terrebonne Parish. Median sold price was $195,000. That's up over March, 5.4%. The number of properties is up 44.2% month over month. The sold to list price is 97.41%. So, and that is probably typical for our overall market.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not bad either. And that's up 1.1% over March. Median days in RPR for the listings that sold is 92, which that's about average, I would say.
That's about a month longer than Lafourche, but it's still not bad.
Yeah. And that's probably average for the whole market, the total market for all the areas we cover. And total volume sold was $84,000 at 410. I always scramble that up when I say it. Let me try it again.
$18 million.
We'll take it out in post. $18,084,410. And that's up 70.5% month over month. So that means that March was a really slow month for closings.
And like I said in the Lafourche video, it looks like March there was more listing activity and there were more closings in April. So.
Yeah. And last is months of supply of inventory. And this goes a little bit more into the details and gives you a chart showing what that inventory looks like since April of 2020. And you can see how post-Ida, we kind of hit that trough, but that it's more or less been steadily climbing since then.
And which tells me that if you're in the market to buy, now's the time to buy. Although the interest rates are somewhat elevated, if the house is on the market for this long or there's that much inventory, you have a better selection of property that you can choose from to buy. And if you can accept the interest rate and the insurance rate, hopefully, I don't know about insurance, but at some point the interest rates will take a dip again, so there's a chance to refinance it. If you go in at a high price and a low interest rate, you can't refinance the principal. You can only refinance the interest rate. So I think it's a remarkable time in Terrebonne Parish to buy a house, and there's a lot of buying opportunity in Terrebonne.
Yep. All right. So that's the market update for Terrebonne. If you got any questions, you'd like some more details, you're interested in buying or selling, contact Ben or myself. If you like the podcast and want to see more, go to rerealestatepodcast.com. Like, subscribe, comment, share, ask your questions at the link at the top where it says ask a question. You can watch us on YouTube. You can watch us on Spotify. You can listen to us on pretty much any podcast app. You can subscribe to us there. We hope you enjoy it. Share it with your friends. Anything else to add, Ben?
I think that's it. I think we covered it. I think this was a little shorter than Lafourche. We're learning. We don't want to bore you with all the details, but we kind of want to hit the highlights give you an idea of what's going on in the market. And from everything I'm seeing, it's the market's still healthy. So it's a good time to buy. It's a good time to sell. If you have any questions, call us, contact us, text, email, send us a message on rerealestatepodcast.com, and we'll talk about you on a future podcast.
All right, Ben, I think that's a wrap.
All right, Clint. Enjoyed it. Have a good one.
You too, Ben.
Thanks.
While we may discuss topics such as lending, interest rates, title law, real estate law, and appraisals in addition to real estate sales and transactions, please remember that we are only trained and licensed as real estate salespeople in Louisiana. The information shared on this podcast is for general purposes only and should not be taken as legal or financial advice. We may be agents, but unless we have signed paperwork stating otherwise, we are not your agents.